The silence that fell across the venue just moments ago was unlike anything ARMY had ever experienced. What was supposed to be another night, filled with music, celebration, and unity turned into a wave of shock and confusion. Jin's sudden absence had already left the stage unbalanced, but what followed next intensified the emotional weight even further. Jungkook was visibly shaken, his tears betraying emotions he could no longer contain as Taehyung quietly stepped away. Why did this happen? And what truly unfolded in those critical minutes that left the audience gasping? The scene was unexpected and painfully raw. Jin, whose presence has always been a stabilizing force for BTS, appeared to vanish without warning. No prior announcement, no clear explanation, just gone. ARMY members who filled the arena could hardly process the sudden change when Taehyung's own departure followed like a second blow. Jungkook, standing under the blinding lights, appeared torn between confusion and heartbreak. Cameras captured his expression, and those images spread rapidly online, fueling speculation and leaving millions of fans around the world asking the same question. What exactly happened between Jin's absence and Taehyung's sudden exit that caused such a powerful reaction? Observers described the moment as almost surreal. Jungkook, known for his composure, could not hold back his tears. His attempts to mask his emotions only made his struggle more visible, and his silence on stage grew louder than any song that could have been sung. This was not the image of an idol performing for his fans. This was the raw face of a young man caught between loyalty, loss, and confusion. The emotional break happened in real time, and ARMY, stunned and powerless, could only watch as their hearts broke alongside his. Speculation immediately began to swirl. Was Jin's sudden departure pre-planned, or was it a response to something that unfolded behind the scenes? And why did Taehyung choose to step away right after, leaving Jungkook to face the spotlight alone? The absence of answers only intensified the mystery, making this one of the most talked about incidents in BTS's history. Fans around the world flooded online platforms, dissecting every gesture, every glance, and every fragment of the night in search of clues. The emotional core of the night was Jungkook's visible breakdown. Tears streamed down his face, but beyond the surface, there was a deeper sense of loss. Jungkook has often leaned on Jin for guidance, especially during moments of uncertainty. With Jin suddenly gone, the foundation seemed to crumble, and when Taehyung also left, it was as though the last piece of support had been ripped away. The sight of Jungkook standing alone, struggling to maintain strength in front of thousands, struck ARMY with an intensity that words cannot fully capture. The impact of this moment extended far beyond the venue. Online communities lit up with hashtags and discussions, yet beneath the viral reaction was a haunting sense of collective heartbreak. ARMY members shared stories of how their own emotions mirrored Jungkook's, helpless, confused, and overwhelmed by the absence of clarity. The narrative quickly shifted from excitement to speculation, from joy to collective grief. Those who were present at the event noted a chilling detail: the silence when Taehyung left. No music, no announcement, only the sound of fans gasping in disbelief. The contrast was striking. In one moment, the stage was alive with energy, and in the next, it became a space of emptiness that magnified Jungkook's emotional collapse. His attempt to wipe his tears and continue was not enough to shield the audience from the truth. Something had gone terribly wrong. Questions continued to dominate the conversation. Was Jin's absence related to an internal conflict, or was it a private decision he made in the heat of the moment? Did Taehyung's departure connect directly to Jin's, or was it the result of something separate? Why was Jungkook left to stand as the only visible witness of their absence? These unanswered questions have fueled endless theories, yet no official explanation has surfaced, leaving the mystery wide open. Jungkook's vulnerability that night will be remembered as one of the most defining moments in BTS's ongoing journey. For years, he has been portrayed as the golden magne, the one who holds strength, talent, and endurance in equal measure. Yet in this singular moment, the image cracked. The tears that streamed down his face revealed a side of him rarely seen on stage, a human side overwhelmed by the loss of those he relies on most. Taehyung's exit only deepened the pain. Known for his close bond with Jungkook, Taehyung's absence left a visible void. Fans have long cherished the moments of connection between the two, and seeing Jungkook left alone without him was a sharp reminder of the fragility of those bonds. The questions that emerged were not only about logistics or timing, they were about the emotional fabric of the group itself. How much weight can one member carry when the others step away? As the night ended, there was no closure. Fans left the venue in silence, many with tears in their eyes, echoing Jungkook's own. The lack of explanation created an emotional vacuum that quickly spread across the globe. In homes, on phones, and in countless online spaces, ARMY replayed the footage again and again, trying to extract meaning from every second. But the truth remained hidden, buried beneath the weight of absence. The next day, the shock had not subsided. Headlines around the world highlighted Jungkook's breakdown, with images of his tear-streaked face dominating social media. Analysts pointed out how unprecedented this was. Idols rarely allow their emotions to spill so publicly, especially in moments where composure is expected. For Jungkook to break down in front of millions suggested not only the depth of the moment, but also the seriousness of whatever had transpired. In the end, the mystery remains. Jin's sudden disappearance, Taehyung's quiet departure, and Jungkook's uncontrollable tears are now forever linked in the memory of ARMY. What truly happened behind the scenes is a question that continues to hang heavily in the air, unanswered and unsettling. For fans, the image of Jungkook left alone under the stage lights is not just a passing incident. It is a haunting reminder of how fragile even the strongest bonds can appear when tested, and so, the question lingers: what happened on that stage, and why did it leave Jungkook in tears while the world watched? Until the truth is revealed, the memory of that night will remain one of the most mysterious and heartbreaking chapters in BTS's story. The chain of events that unfolded was too precise, too sudden, and too impactful to dismiss as coincidence. First, Jin disappeared from the stage with no clear sign of return. Then, as though connected by an invisible thread, Taehyung walked away moments later, leaving Jungkook as the only member caught in the spotlight. For a group whose strength has always been built on unity, this sequence felt almost symbolic, one absence leading to another, and the youngest member left to bear the emotional weight. Inside the arena, the energy shifted drastically. Armies who had prepared for a night of celebration instead found themselves holding their breath, waiting for clarity that never arrived. The chants that usually rise in unison to fill the air fell silent. Every fan's attention was locked on Jungkook, whose attempts to steady himself only magnified the depth of his struggle. His trembling hands, the way he wiped his tears repeatedly, and the moments he turned his gaze away from the audience all painted a picture of someone overwhelmed by the gravity of what had just happened. What stunned many was Jungkook's decision to remain on stage despite the absence of his brothers. Most artists, faced with such circumstances, might have walked off to regroup. But Jungkook stood there, refusing to abandon the audience even as his own emotions betrayed him. That silent act of endurance spoke volumes. It was not only about professionalism, but also about loyalty. He stayed, not because he had to, but because he felt he must, even when the people he relied on most had gone. Theories began to multiply with alarming speed. Some speculated that Jin's sudden disappearance may have been triggered by personal matters, while others suggested deeper tensions behind the scenes. Taehyung's exit, following so closely after, fueled more suspicion. Was this coordinated? Was it an unspoken protest, or a shared decision between the two? The absence of communication left the questions open-ended, and in the vacuum of information, speculation became inevitable.